Gotta tell you, I think my YouTube channel is changing. It's going to be changing to a lot of different things. Um, the most important thing is I want to be an advocate, helping a lot of families down the line dealing with cancer because cancer sucks. Cancer absolutely sucks. Cancer took away my beautiful wife, the love of my life, my soulmate, my everything. Another thing is I realized something. When you're going through amazing loss, amazing hurt, I hear my ears ringing. Oh, I wonder if that's Jennifer. I wonder if that's my wife. I love you, honey, if that's her communicating with me. Some people believe that when your ears ring, that it's a sign from angels that want to communicate with you. We've been having a lot of different issues here. You know, some people like to kick you when you're down. It's an unfortunate thing in this world. You have all these different haters on the internet. What are you going to do? These internet trolls, they got nothing else going on with their lives. And they just want to use your tragedy, use your hurt as entertainment. It's crazy. That's what they want to do. Some people feel like, well, it's free game. If you're mentioning it, then we have the right to mention it. And I guess to a certain degree, I understand that. Because if I bring it out in the open to the public forum, other people have the right to cast opinions. But it's not really that they're casting opinions, it's just pure hate. And look, I'm under the opinion that when someone is going through their hardest time, that people should have like just basic like humanity. Don't you think like there should be like feelings of compassion? You have to have a heart, you have to have a soul. And you know what the funny thing is? I'm not going to get technical here, but let's just say I'm not only referring to internet trolls. Let's just say there's a lot of people. Oh, let's say there's a lot of people out there that you would think, this is the key, would be here for you. Okay, I'm going to leave it at this. I'm not going to get technical. I'm not going to get into specifics. But there are people who you would assume, that could be family, let's just say, very close people in your life. Now, I have to say, some family has been really coming through for us. Thank God. Thank God. My beautiful aunts, you know, this is on my mom's side. They came to the house today. They helped us. They helped my mom. They helped me. They helped us straighten out the house, get everything in order. Thank God for that. And that was a really, really beautiful, beautiful gesture, and it was a beautiful thing. So there are people who care. I can't say that the whole world is messed up. No, there are people who are good. But unfortunately, when there's good, there's a lot of messed up people, man. A lot of messed up people who have no heart, no compassion, and they want to kick you when you're down. See, what people don't understand, a lot of people, I got to stay strong for my kids. This is the key here. That's the most important thing, kid. The most important thing of all. What my wife, excuse me, I'm like sleepy here. What my wife Jennifer would want the most is I have to remain strong for our children. We have two children. And let's just say there's a lot of people. Again, I just want to reiterate to you, a lot of people who you would think were family. Okay, you would think are very close people in your life. That for whatever reason, for whatever their reasons are, Sometimes people have hurt and they want to blame you. They want to blame you for their hurt. You know what I mean? They want to say it's all they want. A lot of people sometimes when they're hurting, they're angry. They need someone to be like the bad guy. Like the movie Scarface. Say goodnight to the bad guy. Let me just be crystal clear so that all of you understand something. Jennifer was my soulmate, my best friend, my lover, the mother of our children. She was everything to me. She was everything to me. I have to tell you, Jennifer always said that she was blessed that she had me in her life. And I feel very blessed that I had Jennifer in my life. It's like we were perfect for each other. Throughout our whole lives together, we really we stood the test of time in terms of always being there for each other, always loving each other. When Jennifer got diagnosed with cancer in 2015, I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of her family, unfortunately, were not there for her, including, her own brother. I'm just gonna come clean now. I'm gonna come clean. And he wasn't there for her. For whatever his reasons are, I don't know. Who knows what the reasons are, but he was not there for her. A lot of her family was not there for her. And Jennifer was very hurt. Jennifer was very, very hurt by all of this. And that's why, really, she requested to just have services where it's closed off to the public. She just wanted something for her family, her immediate family, me and the kids to attend. And that's it. I'm not going to, get into any specifics, but these same people, let's just say, who are not there for Jennifer, I really don't even want to go here anymore. Let's just say that, let's just say they're trying to make a very, very heartbreaking situation worse. Okay, that's it. They're trying to make a situation that's already filled with so much hurt and so much loss and so much just desperation right now to try to find the meaning of what happened. Like I still am in shock that my wife passed away. I can't believe it. And you know what I need right now? And you know what my children need? We need love and support. That's what we need. Not hate. Not, blaming or anger or frustration. No, we need love and support. And unfortunately, there's just not a lot of that out there. There is, to a certain degree, some people show a lot of love and support, and others don't. And what you really have to do in your life is try to surround yourself with the people who truly love you, who truly care about you. Look, Andy, I'm going to be honest with you. See, this is the exact stuff I'm talking about right now. What you're doing. Let me try to explain to you what's happening, Andy. My wife just passed away. Okay, I just want you to try to understand this, okay? Because I don't want to kick you off. I really don't want to do it no more. My wife just passed away. We lost the love of my life. I lost her. Do you really think I want to spend my time talking about a lunatic, psychopathic, internet troll like WTF who is making up lies? Okay? I don't want to do that. So if you want to redirect the conversation of this live stream, I have to kick you off. That's it. It's lies. It doesn't exist. These people are psychopathic, Norman Bates lunatic. Listen to me. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Okay, did you ever hear something called Photoshop stuff? You ever hear listen to me. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to talk about this. Mention it one more time and you're gone. I don't want to talk about it. It's not true. It's psychopathic crazy shit. These people, hey, I'll give you just one example, okay? These haters one time made up this thing. They were like, oh, you were caught with DWI or so. It's not true. It's a lie. they said that we saw you at Wawa. It's not true. And they make up these fake documents. They post it online. These people are psychos, Andy. They're lunatics. They have nothing better to do with their wasted lives, unfortunately, than to try to stir up all these controversies and problems because they're lunatics. This is how they get their kicks. This is how they get their entertainment. And you get idiots like you, don't take this the wrong way, who fall for every trick in the book. You fall for every trick in the book. All they have to do is a little tiny Photoshop thing, make some kind of a, I'm just trying to make you understand. They make up a little Photoshop thing that's not true. Eddie, can I explain something to you? Here's what matters in life. Can I educate you? You want me to educate you? There is what's called the law. The law. Now, what is the law? Let's talk about what the law is. The law is what? The police, right? Judges, right? Our government agencies, FBI, Homeland Securities. Okay. So when you are accused of something, okay, let's just say whatever. I'm just trying to give you like a point here. Whose opinion matters? Some psychopathic, look at me, internet troll who has nothing, probably a teenager. Listen to me. I got Andy. I am not going to waste my time, listen to me, talking to you about things that are not. Why don't you send me an email? Are you ready with Peter Pan? Listen, send me an email of a little boy flying in the air with the fairies, okay? Because that would be a comparable thing to what you're talking about. This stuff doesn't exist. It's not real. It's made up. It's made up. Okay. That's all I got to say about it. Now, I'm going now. Goodbye. Not mentioning it no more. End of conversation. Send me an email with Godzilla. Send me an email with King Kong. This is the email I want you to send me. Send me an email with King Kong and Godzilla. Say, look, Rich, they're outside your house. This is fantasy. And I think about that magazine. What is it? The National Enquirer. I get that there's interest in things that are made up, fiction, fantasy. I get it. As a country, we're fantasized. All of us like stuff that are, entertainment driven, BS. But you see, at some point, we have to learn how to differentiate things that are real versus things that are fiction. And unfortunately, as a society at large, I think we have trouble with that. I think that we have trouble with that. I really, really do. And I think sometimes people want to believe something so bad. Like, I'll give you an example. These haters hate me so bad that this is what the truth is. They have nothing on me legally. You want to hear what the facts are? Legally, I am a law-abiding citizen. I am a wonderful father. I'm a great person. So they got they got nothing. So what do they have to do? They have to make up these crazy lies, Photoshop documents, create some kind of a friggin' narrative that doesn't exist for idiots like you who bite the bullet and say, oh my God, is this true? It's all bullshit. You ever hear that? You ever see the movie The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler? It all was bullshit. It was an effing joke. Okay. So that's that. I'll tell you what. If this is not good enough for you, I'll tell you what, Andy. I always like to do these little like wagers with people. Okay. If there happens to be, and I'll be willing, see this is now, Andy, where, if you're not convinced, if anyone is not convinced, I always go to the next level. And I hate to do this. Okay. If there's any type of loan documents that you're talking about, I'll tell you what. If someone can legally prove this to me, just legally prove it to me. Not where it's Photoshop, not where it's make believe. Okay, let someone speak to my attorney. Let's set up a call, and I'll pay somebody. What's the amount? 100,000 to it? There is no loan. What loan documents? What are you talking about? There is no loads we're taking out. Okay, this is crazy. There is no loans or loan applications that were filled out. Nothing. Zero. It doesn't exist. So can we stop talking about it? And what are you trying to say? My father did this? I was reading these things. My father passed away in November of 2020. So how is it possible? Okay, but now you're going into a different subject. You think I should refinance? Okay, see now you change. Now you're changing. You're going into a different subject now. So you went from concentrating on a fictional thing that doesn't exist, right? You went from that into a completely different conversation now. Now you think I should refinance? Okay, you know why? Because you're probably part of the problem, Andy. You are part of the problem. I'm getting rid of you, brother. I got to kick you off. You're just a lunatic. So this is what I'm talking about. It's like, oh my God, this is what I'm talking about. My wife just passed away. My wife just passed away. I lost the love of my life. I lost the most important person in my life. I lost a person that literally brought me happiness every day of my life. I love my wife. And she battled cancer for 10 years. And I'm dealing with it's crazy, but I guess this is the price you pay to be a YouTuber, you know? It's why you got to kind of kick all these people off. I'm dealing with like psychos. I guess they're just people. That's what it is. That's what they do in their lives is that it's an unfortunate, isn't it such an unfortunate, sad thing that there are people, I guess their lives suck so bad. Their lives suck so bad that they have to capitalize. But I want you to think about this. They have to capitalize on other people's misery. Like instead of like this is what I'm saying. The point of this live stream is if you are a human being, this is the point of this live stream. What is the most important thing that we could all do in society as human beings for each other? We could have what's called heart and compassion. Okay? Heart and compassion. That's what we could do for each other. In other words, you should say to yourself, Richie, Apefather, you just experienced one of the greatest pains, one of the greatest hurts of your life. You have lost your beautiful, beautiful wife, an angel from heaven. She's an angel, my wife. She really is, now she is an angel. She was always my angel, but now she really is in heaven. She's in paradise with her beautiful mother, Linda, and she's an angel. She's looking down on me, and I think she's probably concerned for me because she's worried about me a lot. Like I said, I wish I could say that this is limited to just people on the internet that are crazy, but it's not. It's not limited to people on the internet. It's in some cases people who you really would think would be there for you, like family, or there's sometimes you have family. I'm going to tell you something, but they're not really family, even though they are family. Just because someone is your brother, or let's just say, okay, like Jennifer had a brother, just because someone is your brother doesn't necessarily really mean that they deserve that title. It doesn't really mean that. They don't deserve that title because, see, at the end of the day, it's either someone is going to love you and be there for you in your time of need or they're not. That's it. And if they're not, for whatever their reasons are, there's no reason to speculate. Some people are just pure out crazy. Some people have mental illness. Like, seriously, like, some people hate for no reason in this world. There are people who I'll give you an example of what I mean. You could treat someone great for years. You understand? You could treat someone, and I know this because I have experience. I am now speaking to you from experience that I have cases where I've treated certain individuals who are now being extremely mean to me and then mean to my family. I have treated certain individuals with the utmost of respect for like 27, like 30 years. I have treated people with such respect, okay? Only now to find at my greatest, like it's my darkest hour, where I'm dealing with my greatest heartbreak, my greatest hurt, that they're treating me, okay, like a mameluke, like a piece of garbage. And again, for no good reason. That's the thing. I know sometimes you might say, why do people do certain things? And sometimes there really is no good reason. Sometimes there are just people who, for whatever the reason is, want to blame you for things. Like I'll give you an example. You know, you get into a car accident, right? God forbid. You know why they came up with the no fault insurance? You know, insurance companies, that's what they have now. It's called no fault. Because nobody ever thinks they're wrong. That's the society that we live in. We live in a society no one thinks they're wrong. Like someone could literally auto frog, listen to me. Someone could literally pass a red light and literally slam into a car. Like literally be 100% wrong. Absolutely no question that they caused the accident. But then when you confront them and you say, why did you pass the red light? What's going on? He'll be like, no, 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 no. No, you were in my way. And they'll still blame you, yes. Even if they're 100% in the wrong. So what's going on with me, I'm just gonna try to explain some of it, is that I have a lot of people in my life that I need to start like really now thinking and really analyzing who I want to spend my time and my children. Who do we want to keep in our lives? Like who do we, because at some point I think you need to do this. I think you have to start like, you get to a point where you have to start really analyzing who do you want in your lives and who do you want cut out of your lives? Like who are the positive people and who are the negative people? And you have to really start making that determination, because if you don't, if you keep negative people in your lives, what do you think is going to ultimately happen? Negative things, right? You're going to be surrounded by negativity. You're going to be surrounded by negative, vibes and negative people. So that's why it's very, very important to keep the people who love you. Do you have a good support? In some cases, I do, and in some cases, I don't. Um, you know, how could I say it? In some cases, I do. In some cases, I don't. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. You're right, Autofrog. It's a crazy world we live in. Someone could be drunk driving, hit someone, and blame the person for crossing the crosswalk. You're true. It's true. It's a crazy, crazy world. Um, it's a hard question to answer, Nolan. It's a hard question to answer because in certain cases, I do, and in certain cases, I don't. I don't know how else to explain it. So if you want me to give you examples, okay, I'll give you examples. My beautiful aunt came over today. I had two aunts, and they helped us. They my mom is sick. My mom. Sometimes you can't even rely on your immediate family. No, no, Nolan. See this. See, look. I think there's a big misconception going on in our world. I think there's a big misconception going on, and we're going to talk about this. There's a big misconception going on that just because someone is your, let's say, brother, I'll just give you an example, right? That there is a natural assumption that that person will be there for you, let's say, in an emergency situation, right? But that's not always the case. Look, some people are blessed in their lives where they have great relationships with their immediate family. Like I have a friend of mine, give you just an example, a buddy of mine, John, he's blessed. Literally, his family is so close and he has such a big support system everywhere he looks and everywhere he turns. He's got a huge support system, a gigantic support system. And in other families, that's not the case. You know, I, it's so, for me to tell you the long story of all these things is going to be tough. But all right, my parents had a tough marriage. I'll get into it. I'll try to go piece by piece with you to try to answer Nolan's question if I have a big support system. My parents had a very, very tough marriage. They were very, very unhappy, unfortunately. And there was a lot of fighting, there was a lot of problems, which included my mother's family. Like my mother's family and my father did not get along. They didn't. They did not get along. And to the point where it was actually hatred involved. They like there was hatred. Like my mother's family did not like my father. My father did not like them. Um, Sometimes that hatred is passed on. It happens. Like sometimes someone looks at you and will say, "This is the son of that father who I hate." And then what I've learned is like you could do nothing wrong. Listen to me. Like let me. This is what I was trying to say at the beginning of this live stream. Thank you, Carrie. You could do nothing wrong. Like you could actually be very, very respectful to people. I'm just trying to educate all of you. You could be like you could be great to a person. Listen to me, because sometimes I think people second guess themselves. I think people say, "Wasn't I good to this person?" Right, exactly. Wasn't I good to this person? Wasn't I? Did I treat this person with respect? Did I treat this person good? Yet they hate me. Why did they hate me? What did I do to this person to deserve this much hate? And you know what the answer is? You didn't do anything. The answer is you did not do anything wrong. Unfortunately, sometimes people will hate for no reason, for no good reason. And there's nothing you could do about it. Like you see, another problem I had in my life growing up, and now that I lost my wife, I'm really reanalyzing everything in my life. I'm really, really, I'm rethinking everything now. I'm rethinking life. You can't convince someone to care about you. You can't do it. It's either going to be they do or they don't, and that's it. You can't, like, in other words, if someone doesn't like you for what, again, like you might be bent out of shape. You might be saying, "I was always good to this person. I always treated this person with respect. I always treated this person great." Okay, but they don't like you. They don't like you. So you start driving yourself crazy trying to prove yourself to them, You're like, didn't I do this good thing for you? Wasn't I there for you? What wasn't I always your best friend, all this stuff. And they just like go F yourself. You piece of God. They hate you. My opinion is this. You gotta let it go. It's hard sometimes. It's hard to do this. It's hard to let go of a situation sometimes, but you have to do it. That's it, because you cannot force someone. Like Sting wrote a song, the great Sting, from the Police. If you love somebody, set them free. Great song. If you love somebody, if you love someone, set them free, 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 set them free, set them free. um, Antonio, the funeral is not public information. That's it. It's a private function that will be for myself and for the children. That's it. It is not public. It's not publicly. We're not inviting the public. We're not. So you don't need to know when the funeral is. Are those people who don't like you right or wrong? You know, it's not a question of that. It's not a question of what's right, because we all have. Look, you ever hear the expression "opinions are like a holes"? Whoever heard this expression? Opinions are like a holes. Everyone's got one. Okay, so I can tell you, in my opinion, they're wrong, but then they'll tell you in their opinion they're right. You see what I'm trying to say? It goes back to the same analogy that Autofrog and I was just talking about, how no one thinks they're wrong in this world. Let me just read this. He had a friend in high school that he's been close with and had invited into his home a lot. He lost his dad to suicide. Oh, you lost your dad. My God, Autofrog. I'm so sorry, brother. God bless you, man. God bless you and your family, Autofrog. That friend butts in on an argument between me and my best friend. I get upset at him, and he threatens to off himself. Oh, my God. Listen, getting back to what Nolan was saying, if someone doesn't like you, they have their reasons to not like you. Now, you may disagree with those reasons, right? But as far as they're concerned, their reasons are justifiable. So, what's truly important? Do we want to live our lives proving ourselves to people like who just don't like us, you know? Do we I was watching Donald Trump, the great President Trump, and he said, I got into a point in my life, this was recently, where there's a lot of people who love me and I love them back. And he said, there's a lot of people who hate me. This is President Trump. And he goes, I've gotten to a point I just don't care. You love me, you hate me, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to do what I have to do in my life. That's it. So I can't stop what I'm doing because maybe you disapprove. You see, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep moving forward. And that's all we could do. You know, I wrote a song. I'm going to show it to you real quick. I wrote a song about this. It's called Who Will Be There For You. You want to be like the popular kid in high school? Well, listen, it's like Trump is very popular, right? President Trump. There's a lot of people who love him, but even the most popular people, there's a lot of people who don't like him. I think it's impossible to be loved by everybody. I think it's impossible to be loved by. No matter what you do in life, someone is not. There's going to be people who don't like you, and that's just the way, unfortunately, the world works. Like you could literally jump in front of a bus and save a puppy's life. Listen to me. You want me to give you an analogy? You could save a beautiful puppy's life. Jump in front of a bus, and there will still be someone who doesn't like what you did. There's gonna be someone you say you could have caused an accident. What you just did by you stepping in front of this bus, you could have caused a 10-car accident. What's the matter with you? What's the matter? Why don't you just let that puppy go? Forget the puppy. You could have caused a 10-car accident. Okay. Then there's obviously going to be people who say, God bless you. God bless you for saving that puppy. You are a hero. You can be my hero, baby. You know? Just be yourself. Frog is right. Just be yourself. Here's a song I wrote. It's called Who Will Be There For You. I'm going to do a little version. That the strong only survive through these days. Felt the pain of this world breaking me down in many ways. Trust so easily. My good heart broke constantly. Not too many people who are going to be there for you. Are going to be there for you. You will find people time hits you from out of the blue. When you're in need, who'll be there for you? So, the thing that's really getting to me the most is that I am so much hurting right now over the loss of my wife. Thank you, Carrie. So I'm really going through a really, really tough situation. Like, my wife was my best friend. My wife was my lover. She was my everything. Look, I'm trying to make sense out of it. She was battling cancer for a long time. This is the thing. I've had people tell me for years. Richard, your wife is very sick. Like, doctors tell me this. Nurses tell me this. Family members tell me this. I know, Autofrog. But let me just try to make my point to you. I've had a lot of people tell me for years. It's really hard, Carrie. It's very, very hard. I've been with my wife for 19 years too. We were married for 19 years. It's funny that you mentioned 19. God bless you and your family. Well, just really quickly, look, I have to mention this. Don't get upset. You know, it's not a requirement, but it is something I have to mention. My wife's funeral is going to be coming up this week, and yeah, I'm originally a New Yorker. I'm just trying to figure out options. Look, you know, my wife didn't want to be buried. That I could tell you. She didn't want to be buried. So it was kind of like a toss up between cremation or doing something like above ground, like a mausoleum or something. So the mausoleum is very expensive. Now, it would be a beautiful thing to do something like that for her. It really would. I just don't know if I could come up, you know, with the funding. If I could, it would be something that I would consider. But if not, you know, she was also she said I would be okay with cremation. She said that to me. So I'm basically just leaving my options open to see. It's very expensive. It's like it's really upwards of like $25,000 because you have to buy the casket, you got to get the funeral director to pick up the body, then you have to store it somewhere. You know, it's they got maintenance. I think there's like a lot of shit involved. But so all I'm basically, it's like buying a car. So like what I'm basically doing is I'm offering people the opportunity if they would like to support out my family in our time of need with a small cash app. This is my cash app. If someone could even type it for me, I'd appreciate it. It's the $ Richard Lavoie. It's the $ Richard Lavoie. This is my cash app. It's RICHARDLEV as in Victor OI. There's no space, there's no underscore in between my first and my last name. If someone could actually type out that cash app, I'll pin the comment. Thank you, Otto. Otto, can you just do it where there's no space in between my first and last name? Could you retype it, please? Because then people are gonna think there's this. Thank you. Let me just really quickly pin Otto Frog's comment. Thank you, Otto Frog. I do a service. It's called the Thank You Song. I'm going to play a little music for you right now. What the Thank You Song is I upload a short video on YouTube for you. In the event that you could do a very small cash app, just my way of saying thank you. I record a beautiful like jazz song, something like this. It's for you. It's dedicated to your good deed. So something like that. Um, you know what the problem is that I'm having, and I'm having a really bad problem. I'm really, really hurting bad. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm hurting really bad. You know, it never really mattered to me. It never really mattered to me who liked me or who didn't like me, if you really want me to tell you the truth, because I had my wife. My wife was my best friend. My wife was my support system. My wife was everything to me. That was it. And I was everything to her. So we had this relationship that was so powerful. It was like, love conquers all. It was me and her against the world. So it didn't matter. Sure, we had problems. Like I said, there was people in my wife's family that she was dealing with cancer for 10 years and they weren't there for her. Like literally, like no one visited her in the hospital. It's crazy. A lot of people moved to different states, but there were people even local and they, like, her own brother, I'll leave it at that, and just never visited her, never cared. Again, I'm not going to get into reasons why, because there were no good reasons. There were no good reasons. Okay. People sometimes just hate for no reason. In their minds, they think they have a reason, but it's not logical. Like, just to give you an example, we were always good to her brother, you know? Never once did we ever treat him with disrespect. I took him out to many dinners. I invited him to my house. He came in my pool. We had big barbecues. What happened was his mother passed away. My wife's mother passed away, Linda. And after that, sometimes maybe, I don't know, when people experience great hurt of their own, I don't know, maybe they drift away. Maybe they want to blame people. They want to, like, it's crazy. Like, I'll give you an example. You want an example? Okay. I'll give you like a real life example. My wife's mom passed away from acute leukemia. Okay. It was a terrible, terrible thing. Just out of nowhere. Completely healthy, beautiful woman. And she got acute leukemia. Now, what happened was my wife, at the same time, like right before, like about maybe 3 or 4 months before Jennifer's mother got the acute leukemia, my wife was battling, she's also battling stage 4 cancer. So naturally, we were going through at the time, we were living in a very small apartment. And we called up the mother, and we kind of asked for a little help. Now, this is when she was healthy. I just want to be clear, that we wanted to, get into a bigger place. My wife had stage 4 cancer. The mother loved her daughter, and yes, she's like, yes, I want to help. I want to help you. I want to help my daughter. Unfortunately, her father was like, really strict guy, Scottish guy. He really wasn't. I don't know, for some reason, they were kind of an unemotional. Her family was very unemotional. I'm going to be honest with you. That's another thing that maybe a lot of people don't understand. You got two types of people in this world. You got people who are very, very emotional, who are just like, that's it. I'll do anything for my kids. I will lay down my lives for my children. But then I've actually met people who are the complete opposite, who their lives are only about themselves. It's not about their children. They look at children as almost like pawns. They're like, look, I had kids because that was the American way. You know, like the American way was you need to have 2 kids, you need to have a boy, you need to have a girl. You understand? You get a house, you get a dog. It's like an appearance thing. So there's really no emotion there. But the mother was very emotional though. Her mother, Linda, was super emotional. She loved Jennifer. She loved her. So the theory is because we reached out to Jennifer's mom and asked her for help, which the mother wanted to do. This was years ago. This was like in 2017. The theory is the brother blames us now for his mother's death. Does that make any sense? I want you all to think about this for a second, right? Does that make any, like, this is where I say there's like mental illness. How could you blame someone for someone's death if she had acute leukemia? She had acute leukemia. That has nothing to do with like us stressing her. Like she wasn't stressed out. First of all, she loved her daughter and she wanted to help her daughter. But that's the theory of why a lot of people feel in my wife's family that the brother doesn't like talk to us. But again, it's bullshit. It doesn't make even Jennifer's father said it made no sense. Like, but look, to the same, you want to hear the same degree? He cut everyone in his family out. Jennifer's brother. He cut everybody out. He cut his own father out. He doesn't talk to his own father. He doesn't talk to his uncles. He doesn't talk to nobody. The guy's, in my opinion, the guy's a Norman Bates, psychopathic lunatic. And I just want to be clear to everybody. I was always good to him. Jennifer was always great her whole life. Her whole life. Okay? But just for whatever the reason is, never made the peace. Now I'm hearing through the grapevines that he feels bad that my wife passed away. But it's like all these years he stopped talking to her. All these years he's not talking to her. All these years for what? For nothing. For absolute nothing, nonsense bullshit. He's not talking to her. Now he feels bad. Well, it's too little, too late, right? Auto Frog. My grandma blamed my mom for my dad's death. My dad hadn't rewritten his will, so she took everything. I come to peace with it, and I am ready to forgive her if she wants. God bless you, Auto Frog. God bless your family. I mean, obviously, it's a very unfortunate situation, and I just hope in my heart that all of you could have peace and serenity. I'm going to do a song right now called Peace and Serenity because, look, if it's possible to have peace, peace is obviously the ideal thing, right? Nobody wants to keep fighting their whole lives. The ideal situation is to have peace, but unfortunately, sometimes you don't have that option. There are certain people that never want peace. Unfortunately, they just don't want it, even in the face of death. See, like my wife passing away actually brought me closer to my mother's family. Like I told you, my mom and my dad had a very bad marriage, and it's unfortunate that that kind of passed on to how they looked at me because they hated my father. My mother's family hated my father. But you know what the funny thing is now? They're coming close to me. They're rediscovering the good person I am. And my aunts came over today and they did a beautiful thing. They helped us clean the house. They helped us get the whole house in order. And I find myself becoming very close to them now again. Like we were very close when I was younger. When I was younger, I was very, very close to them. And now I'm becoming closer. But I'm having a lot of trouble with Jennifer's side, unfortunately. That's an unfortunate thing. But you see, that's the thing. She never really got along with her family. Like I said, I want to reiterate: these are people. They could have all the opinions they want to have, but they never visited my wife one time in the hospital when she was dealing with cancer. None of them. None of them. They didn't visit her one single time. Now I'm not referring to her mother, Linda. God bless. I'm not referring to Linda. I'm referring to other people. They didn't visit my wife like she has family in Pittsburgh. They never visited my wife. They never called her. They never checked up on her. They never asked her how she was doing. Okay. Now all of a sudden they want to be these super opinionated people with me. They want to judge me when I was by my wife's side every single minute with cancer. I stood by my wife's side throughout this whole thing. I took her to every doctor's appointment. I was by her side, holding her hand with every treatment. You understand me? I did everything for her for 10 years. But you see, that's what it is. Now, it could be people are hurting for their own reasons. That's what I'm trying to say. They could be hurting for their own reasons, and they want to blame you. They say, it's your fault. You're the bad guy. Yeah. It's cancer's fault. Cancer sucks. Cancer, go home, get your shine box. Cancer, go home and get your effing shine box, you piece of shit. Cancer sucks. That's why I really want to dedicate my life to helping a lot of families. Right now, I got to focus on my family. We're shot, but in time, I would like to be a very, very big supporter of people going through cancer and their families. God bless everyone. Here's a song I wrote called Peace and Serenity. So once again, just raising money right now for my wife, for funeral services. That is my Cash App. It's the $ Richard Lavoie. The comment is also pinned with AutoFrog. Anybody who consider doing a very small amount, I will upload a video called the Thank You Song for you. It will be an original jazz blues composition on the piano, dedicated to your good deed and dedicated to celebrating my wife's life. Only 46 years old. She beat cancer. She saw her kids grow up. She won. She won, my wife. You know, the heartbreak, well, let me just read a couple of these things. People will never understand the loss of a spouse and how difficult cleaning up the spouse's belongings out or putting them into storage. Oh my God. I can't even tell you how hard that is. I can't even come to terms with a lot of things right now. But you want to know, the thing is that when you're going through such hurt, you want to know that you really do need a support system. You really, really need it. But I'll tell you what you don't need. You don't need people kicking you when you're down, man. Oh my God. You lost the love of your life. You lost the mother of your children. You lost your best friend. And you got people screaming at you on the phone. You got people cursing you, again, for their own reasons. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I can't go back and forth because a lot of people might say, but why are they doing this? Why? Because, like, remember we told you in a car accident, nobody thinks they're wrong. Everybody thinks they're right. Unfortunately, this also translates in death. This, like, I don't know. Someone might be hurting in their own right, and they want to take it out on you. They want to take it out on you. They want to call you the bad guy. I'll just give you an example. You know, Jennifer's uncle, okay, called me up today. Well, actually, I called him. And this guy ripped me up. Tried to destroy me. You know, why were you asking Jennifer's, parents for help, financially? Why were you asking them for help? You got to be a man, You got to be a man. How come you didn't have life insurance? How come you didn't have the... See, people don't understand. My wife we were both under the impression she was a part of the Victims Compensation Fund. Let me just try to make sense of all of this, okay? It was explained to us years ago that the VCF, because my wife got cancer due to 9/11, she got cancer working at the World Trade Center, 2 World Trade Center, and because of the toxins in the air, unfortunately got cancer. God bless my wife. It was no fault of hers. She was a victim, just like so many other people were. God bless all the people affected by 9/11. God bless all of them. Such a terrible, terrible thing. We'll never forget that day. But we were told that they paid for the funeral. That was it. That was what it was explained to us. I guess policies have now changed. I don't know what happened. Things have changed now. Because now they're saying to us, we don't pay for the funeral services. We reimburse. That's what we do. So in other words, you pay for the funeral, and then after you pay for it up front, we will reimburse you. Okay? But once again, this particular uncle wanted to kick me when I was down, wanted to try to humiliate me, and just totally make a jackass out of me. Do I need that right now? You know what I mean? Do I, like, that's the question, that you have to ask yourself. No, I don't. And the thing is, look, I did a good job anyway. I've really done a lot, and in terms of my wife's funeral services, and I did good. Ugh. Now it's just a question of, do I want to settle for the cremation, which I could probably do at this point, or do something better for my wife? So I'm trying to figure it out this week. I'm going to be making a final decision this week on everything. Auto Frog, look, I understand what you're saying, and I don't plan on having grudges with anybody, but you have to just try to understand something. You have to try to understand this. I got 2 kids. I have to be strong for them. My heart is broken. I just lost the love of my life. My heart is broken. My heart is broken. I still can't even make sense out of what happened to my wife. I saw my wife totally okay a month ago. She was walking, talking, eating. She was 100% fine. And then literally within like a month, had to go on a ventilator, had to get a food tube, couldn't move her legs, didn't have the strength to push her own body up, didn't have the strength to cough out any phlegm and secretions that she had. Thank you, old movie fan. God bless you. And like I was saying to all of you, I greatly, greatly appreciate, look, old movie fan, we've had this conversation. I love old movie fan. I think he's the greatest, greatest person in the world. I love you, man. I love you. God bless you for your continued support. God bless you for being a great, great person. And he is. Old movie fan, 1973, is a great, great person. The only thing that I kindly and respectfully ask is if you could do Cash App. Cash App is a little better because it's more immediate. Like I said, the funeral services is coming up now. Like we're at the end now. I have to do it. I have to do it now. It's like we're right at the end. Um, I'm really not that strong, Dirty Dan. We'll talk about that in a second, but thank you though. I'm feeling it. No, no, you know you don't understand. Old movie fan listening. You don't understand. You don't understand. If you don't have Cash App, see, I just want to be clear. Like I just want to be clear. And you did a super chat, God bless you. Listen to me, don't feel bad. You know, there's an old expression, something is better than nothing, right? I get a lot of people who tell me this. You want to hear what they say to me? I do live streams. A lot of people say to me, Apefather, I don't have Cash App. Okay. So if you don't have Cash App, the next best thing is the super chat. Do a super chat. We also have a GoFundMe page. This is another way you can support us. If you go to the Apefather, my YouTube channel, if you go to my community section, you know, the post section, you'll see the post, you'll see the GoFundMe page. So there's a lot of ways to support us. You could support us on the GoFundMe page. Again, that's on the Apefather channel. That's on if you go to my community posts, you'll see it. You could do a super chat, which is what Old Movie Fan 1973 just did. God bless him for that. But ideally, if you could, and only if you could, Cash App would be the best way to do it. If you have Cash App, because that's immediate. So it's the $ Richard Lavoie. The comment is pinned. $ Richard Lavoie, RICHARDLEV as in Victor OI. No space, no underscore in between my first and last name. So, but I just want to be crystal clear. Old movie fan, you have nothing to apologize. He's saying he's sorry. You have nothing to apologize for. You supported me. God bless you for that. And God bless you for supporting my family. God bless you. You don't have to say you're sorry. I get it. If a person doesn't have Cash App and they could do a super chat, I get it. It's a beautiful thing. God bless you. Don't even worry about it. God bless you. Like I said, I actually would prefer you doing that than nothing, right? You could say, you know what? I don't have Cash App, and here's another alternative. You could do nothing. So you picked the choice where you did something. God bless you. Thank you for your support. I'm gonna be back in a little bit. I'm just so hurt right now. I don't know. This is tough. Everyone says that it gets better in time, but it's been getting worse for me every day. I've been noticing it's big, maybe it's because I'm getting close now to I'm getting close to finalizing this thing now. I'm getting close. Like once I do the cremation, it's like finished. It's I can't I don't sleep well at all, man. I mean, well, I slept right now a little bit, thank God. I did sleep a little. I went to bed. I definitely had to get at least some sleep. I feel a little better. But I've been having a very difficult time sleeping. And like I said, what makes it even worse, right? I hate to use that word. I take it back. I hate that word. Let's just say that what makes things even messed up, I'll say, is that you don't get the right support that you need. You get people yelling at you, screaming at you, fighting with you. Again, who needs that? I don't need that. Nobody needs that. Especially when you're dealing with the greatest hurt, the greatest loss of your life. So just remember, keep positive people in your lives. Try to cut out the negative people. And I'll be back soon. God bless you. God bless your families. I keep hearing this ringing in my ear. It's not going away. I think that's my wife communicating with me. I love you, Jennifer. I hear this constant ringing. It's like driving me crazy here. One life, one love. Barb Marley. Just thinking about my wife. I wish she was here right now. I wish I could hold her. I wish I could talk to her again. I wish I could tell her everything I'm going through. Because she was my support system. So all this stuff I'm dealing with right now, what I would typically do is I would talk to my wife. I would say, honey, Jennifer, sit down. I need your help. I need you to be here for me. She would say, of course. And she would rub my arm and take care of me. And she would be here for me. She would make me feel better. But she's not here. She's not here anymore. She can't do that. So now I got to face all these mamalukes who are trying to kick me when I'm down on my own. And that's a terrible thing. But anyway, God bless all of you. I will be back soon. Thank you again for your support. Old movie fan 1973. God bless you. I'll be back soon.